let's go in a completely different direction and land over in the Middle East. Recently, we learned that the U.S. Will be selling F-35s to the Saudis. What can you tell us about that?
So this deal came directly from President Trump. I believe it was 24 or 28 F-35s proposed for sale. Now, there's a lot that has to happen before we actually sell an F-35. It has to get through armed services. There's a number of committees that have to greenlight this transfer of technology. The Saudis have to agree to send their pilots to an American school to learn how to fly the F-35. There's a lot that has to happen, and we have to manufacture them, and that takes a while to do. There's other countries that are in line for the F-35. We also don't know what model it's going to be. Could it be the A model that the Air Force uses? Is it the B model that the Marines use? So what model would the Saudis purchase? So anything like this is probably going to be about 4 years off. But kind of the neat thing here is that it gives the Saudis a level of capability that really only Israel has. Israel was essentially able to walk into Iran, fly past three countries, overfly three countries that didn't even know they were there, walk right into Iran, destroy all of their surface-to-air missile systems, and then essentially act with impunity. And if we give the Saudis that capability as well, then you have Israel possibly attacking from the east, which is a capability that they've already proven they have, and the Saudis capable of attacking from the south. And if we can get Bahrain or the United Arab Emirates on board with the F-35 program, that's even more possible vectors for attack. So it kind of lets Iran know that they need to cut their shenanigans off, or else they're going to be surrounded by stealth fighters that can walk into their country anytime they want.
Mm-hmm. And the downside to a sale like this, you already mentioned the technology transfer issue, but what about the downside?
So there is a possibility that this technology could leak through the way the Saudis do business. A lot of Saudi pilots are actually contractors, some of whom are from Pakistan. Pakistan has a relationship with China. Now, it's certainly possible we could write into a contract that only Saudi pilots or contractors that have been vetted through the United States are allowed to fly, only Saudi maintainers or perhaps American contractors from American companies are allowed to work on these jets. And also, you have Israel, who has very capable F-35 jets, the F-35I, which is a little bit different than American F-35 jets. It kind of has their own technology baked in. They won't be getting similar jets, and theoretically, those jets will be less capable. I can imagine Israel isn't totally crazy about this deal, because if the Saudis ever decide to turn on Israel, that is a capability Israel doesn't necessarily want to fight, even if those jets will be theoretically less capable or capable of different things than Israeli F-35s. This is adding another layer to the mix here that Saudi Arabia already has a lot of American tech. They fly the F-15SA. They fly the British Tornado. They fly the Eurofighter, I believe, as well, which is a conglomerate of several countries. So there already is a path for technology to leak into China. We just have to have appropriate control measures on board to make sure that doesn't happen, or at least reduce the likelihood or severity if it does.
Have you seen anything? I was just thinking while you were talking whether I've seen anything specifically about Israeli pushback to the news of this sale.
I have seen articles in Israeli newspapers that this is a bad idea, but what else are the Israelis going to say? Right? The idea of having a theoretical adversary with a similar weapon system might, I can easily understand how that could frighten anyone in Israel, but the path here is, if we can get Saudi Arabia into an alliance, or at least into an accord with Israel, then you have two countries that are theoretically allies. I mean, call me crazy, but I think of that scene in Predator where Dutch shook hands with the CIA officer, right? And they showed their muscles. And you imagine Israel's power and Saudi Arabia's power together. That is a huge counter against Iran.
Yeah, well done you for citing Predator. I don't think that happens often enough. Hey, Ryan, just talking about the present time, the moment that we're currently in, right? What haven't I asked you about that should be, from your perspective, on our radar?
Venezuela. Absolutely Venezuela. I think it is likely that we're probably going to see some sort of action in Venezuela within the next 10 days or so, at least after Thanksgiving. So the 10 days between Thanksgiving or 10 days after Thanksgiving, I think we are likely to see some sort of military action in Venezuela.
Okay. Well, yes, I just wrote that down. I'm going to have you back on. If it does happen, if it doesn't happen, I'm still having you back on. So, yeah, there you go.
I
now,
could be wrong. The rumor mill is saying that a lot of leave was canceled for after Thanksgiving. So you know, they don't tend to do that without good reason. And there was that recent video made from 7 Democratic senators saying, hey, you must obey lawful orders, which I believe was a sideways hint at some sort of action happening in Venezuela fairly soon.
yeah, I'd love to, if we had more time, I'd love to talk to you about that video. Very interesting. There's a little bit of hysteria going on there in terms of, you know, once again, right? I mean, I would argue that in that video, those individuals, Mark Kelly and Elisa Slotkin and some of the others, you know, they do what the people on the left or the Democrats, however you want to refer to them, a lot of smart people, right? But this constant clutching of the pearls in terms of what could happen. Oh my God, he could issue an illegal order. And then, you know, someone asked Senator Slotkin, well, do you know of any? No, I don't know of any. But you know what, he could do it. And so they're just, you know, they're doing this as they've been doing for quite some time. And of course, the media eats it up. But I would like to have you on to kind of dissect that for a segment, because it is fascinating. And but other than that, yeah, the buildup in Venezuela out off the coast and in the Caribbean does seem to portend something. It is interesting also, and then I'll let you go, that it is interesting that we're hearing these rumblings about possible direct talks with Nicolas Maduro, between Trump and Maduro, possible feelers being put out by Maduro or those close to him about, well, he could be willing to leave perhaps under the right circumstances. So whether it's direct action or whether we see shortly after Thanksgiving some movement in terms of the regime just folding, Maduro deciding on his own to leave to save his skin, or those around him deciding it's time for him to go, I think you're absolutely right to put Venezuela on our radar for the very short term. Hey, thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button and leave a comment, a really positive, nice, and kind comment. That would be appreciated. And if you're not already subscribed to our channel, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our daily updates.